We have two really strong women, Mrs. Wagner and Madame Fontaine, and in some ways they're foils to one another. One is Madame Wagner. Mrs. Wagner is a strong businesswoman. She's also interested in pursuing a career of reform politics that she's inherited from her husband, her late husband. And then Madame Fontaine, who's interested in, well, demonstrating her own power in society. Also carrying on the legacy, perversely, of her husband, the chemist, through the use of his poisons. But what they represent in terms of the strong women that Collins is interested in is ways of thinking outside conventional domestic arrangements. And I mean, that's something that Collins knows very well about in his life, and that he's interested in writing about in his fiction, because you may know that Collins lived an irregular arrangement of life, living most of his life, most of his adult life, with a widow named Caroline Graves, who already had a child, whom Collins raised as his own.
People wouldn't have batted an eyelid today, but in those days it was a big thing.
But effectively, yeah, they're living in sin. And about, I don't know, just under a decade into that relationship, he takes up another relationship, a long-standing relationship with a much younger woman called Martha Rudd. That goes on for years. So he's effectively living with two women to whom he's not married.
And he never married, did he?
And he never marries. Part of this novel is the question about what do you do with a woman who is a loving mother and whose motivation is to make her daughter happier, to ensure her daughter's happiness, to make sure that the marriage comes off, but who resorts to dastardly means to do that, to evil, murderous means.